poppin', beautiful people? Welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here with James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel, and we are here to go over Hulu's show, or Freeform if you watch it on TV. It is titled Million Dollar Nannies. This is season 1, episode 2. It was titled Princess for an Hour. The show is getting interesting. It is definitely getting interesting. Again, the link to James's channel is in the description of this video. Please click it and let's say hello to James. Hello and welcome in, and thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We are happy to have you here. I am going to be changing up how I do content on my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more pre-records. I am a full-time student. I'm also working full-time. I've just changed jobs and I have some other stuff going on as well. So it is easier sometimes for me to do pre-records, but if you are here watching the premiere of this video, shout out to you. We appreciate you. Also, big shout out to our replay watching when we are not premiering. Leave a comment. I am in the chat. Leave a comment. Let's talk about these crazy heifers. We also hope that you consider liking the video and subscribing the channel on your way in or out. If you're unsure on whether to subscribe, no pressure. Check out our playlist. It is okay to watch if you are not subscribed. I'm really just happy people watch, because whether you subscribe or not, you help us YouTubers. But let's get into it. I'm going to let y'all know right now from the gate. Taylor, you're on my nerves. Leah, yes. You should not be leading anyone or anything. That's really all for now. Is there anybody just off the gate who's like on your last nerve?
Besides Leah and Taylor, not the two girls. The two girls with the black hair and the lady with the blonde short bob.
The short bob is Messy Hannah.
Yes, her. But it's not the one from Arizona. What's the other girl's name?
Olivia from Connecticut.
Olivia, yes, her. She was on my nerves. Yes, those 4 people were on my nerves for sure.
Lord. I thought they was on the nerves. I can understand that though. They were kind of annoying, especially Hannah. I feel like Hannah's just gonna annoy us though every episode. She just gets messy.
It's good. Okay, baby, let me explain something to you. This is not a lady who has like literally people holding up money trying to get their services. This is a lady who has to fish for information first, and then y'all do the interviews. She was on my. I'm like, does she not know how this works?
Child, she must not. She must not. Some of them did act a little strange. I'm not gonna lie. We had a lot of. There was just a lot that happened that was odd. Sorry, y'all. I did change the color. I do. I'm a very colorful person, so I try to have my channel as colorful as his personality because it's a lot. We're gonna start this episode with Olivia questioning Leah for sleeping with the dad. Listen, you guys are questioning someone you need for a hookup.
It's so, my point.
While I don't agree with Leah sleeping with the father, ask questions before spreading the rumor. This was very, I mean, they're all like 21, 22. I had this trouble with Calabasas Confidential. I had to remind myself from reviewing, like, okay, these are, I know they're technically adults legally, but these is kids. These is kids. I know I sound like an auntie now, but they are definitely younger in how they interact, because as soon as she said that, I would ask questions right there in that conversation. When she told Olivia, I would have been like, girl, was he single? Was it, are you good? Like, if she would have asked questions, she probably wouldn't have felt the need to go tell people. But I'm also looking at Olivia, like, I'm not going to say too much now, but based on how things go in the later episodes, like, at first I was on your side, but now I'm kind of looking at you like.
Anybody, okay, here's the thing. This is my problem with her. Anybody would be apprehensive at getting that information, knowing that is a no-no that you don't cross because it's unprofessional. But at the same time, asking the question is, okay, clearly it is a scandal. Is there aftermath of that could affect me? Is my first question I would have asked her. I would have asked, but mind you, she was drunk. So it wasn't like it was something that you were going to get clear and concise. And this was definitely drunk talk. And obviously it's either the dad is not with the mom anymore because she wouldn't have said it publicly like that, and they would have caught it without her saying, "No, edit that out. I need to protect my confidentiality report." Um, and then also the next question I would ask is it anybody that we're going to be seeing in these list of connections that you have? Because just because she slept with the dad don't mean she can't work with the family anymore.
That's true. That's also very true. That's also very true. It depends on what they know. I could say from personal experience nannying, like when you first start, like sometimes they could see stuff, but depending on the rapport that you build with the family, specifically the parents,
Mhm.
people sometimes aren't as angry. And if we're being honest, women like the G's who are rich but not confident, those are really the ones who will have a problem. A confident woman don't care. Like you could put a naked bitch in my house to watch our kids, and I'm a trust that my husband gonna do right. That like if you can't do that, you might be with the wrong person. But I
Yep.
digress. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know enough. Everybody has jobs at this point, except for Jack, Tamaya, and Hannah. Hannah is extremely irritating, and she's irritated. Now I feel her. Hannah says she still has her apartment in New York. I would have kept my New York apartment too. Do you know how hard
Yep.
it is to get an apartment in New York City? I would have kept mine too and just went away. And so she's been reminding us that she's paying two rents because she has to pay rent in the house in Ibiza they're all renting. And then she also has to pay rent in her home. Listen, I don't really care for Hannah. She seems messy as hell, very young. However, I will say this. If you have people paying rent in the house, it should be whoever is on contract that has to pay more. Because the people who are
Exactly.
not on contract, they're not making money. They're just losing money. And if people wanted to lose money, they just go on vacation. Just saying, they go on vacation. So I do hope that Leah figures out a way to get them a job. But we also know that this agency is new. It's something that she is trying. And it's kind of like I've worked for startups. Like sometimes you just kind of have to roll with the punches sometimes and wait for your turn. I feel like the more this girl complains, the more she's blocking her own blessing of a damn job. Like, please,
I agree.
please, Hannah, please. Um, Taylor is preparing for her first job. She was chosen by a woman who is supposed to be elite. Now, Taylor is the girlfriend of Mitchell, who is known as the Midwest Nanny. He and her have worked together in Nanny, but as we know, most of the wealth in America is not in the Midwest. I know there's like some rich guy, Sachs something. He's like in big pharma, a billionaire that has like a huge property somewhere in Ohio. I only know from watching a documentary, but outside of that, like yes, there's wealthy people that live in the Midwest, but the big wealth, the billionaires, they in California, they're in New York, Florida. It's just where they go. So she hasn't had the opportunity to work with high end, high profile families. She is nervous as hell and already overthinking things, but we know that she will do this because this is the lady who, in a job interview where she was asked about how she would play with kids, tells them that she had a rough childhood and started crying. So I didn't expect much from Taylor out the gate. But the person she's going to be working for, her name is Nicola Wells. That lady's body is tea. Okay. Now this is somebody with money who know what to do with their body. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. But Nicola Wells is the who's who of the island. The group is going to be attending a white party that Nicola is going to be throwing, where everyone else will wear white and she will be in a different color. That's how you say I'm the host and I'm the star of this shit. I think that's smart. She is an online beauty business that has blown up. A lot of people have found great success in that. She's a single mom. She has two daughters, and her requirements were the most reasonable of anybody's so far from what we've seen. She just wanted the person working for her daughters to align with her brand in terms of health and wellness, which I don't see the problem with. If I have a health and wellness brand, you should walk in your brand and represent your brand. I don't see the issue with that. She also wanted the person to be a woman, and she wanted them to care about the girls and be all about feminine power and upliftment. Notice the women that are super into girl power are always alone. Listen, it's okay to be confident in yourself as a woman, but y'all got to find a way to multitask or split it down the middle. How did you feel before we get into anything further? How did you feel about Nicola and her requirements?
Um, to me, it sounds like she's also trying to set the nanny up for their own success outside of being the nanny. That's what I picked up on it. I don't think Taylor is the person for her as much as she wanted her to be. I feel like that was the wrong call. I saw her, the admiration, but at the end of the day, Taylor's not the person because she can't do nothing without Mitchell. So that's the problem with her right there from the gate. I love Nicole. I honestly, she was my favorite. Out of I don't know who we finna meet in the later episodes, but she was my favorite. Like she was definitely somebody that I feel is confident. And I think the problem with her is that she don't get men of that standard. And I think that sometimes when we think about who we want to empower and everything, we don't think to elevate our mindset to get someone who is willing to do the same for other people but above what we can do. I think she gets men that are beneath that because she's always constantly trying to help somebody, and sometimes as human beings we don't know how to decipher that from our personal being and our professional being because we think that they're intertwined. So
That's
that's what I'm seeing with her. Is right off the bat. And I'm like, damn, I wish she wasn't like that. But sometimes some people can't help it.
I like Nicola because she's someone who remembers. She obviously remembers not being rich, and
Yes.
I appreciate people like that who are still down to earth and don't just let the money change them. I mean, even people who aren't considered filthy rich, like when people start to make over a certain amount yearly, I would say over six figures, over 100K yearly, they act a little differently, and it's just money, baby. Money comes and goes.
Well, it's kind of like Jennifer Tilly, who was very much broke up until she turned 50. And
And
then
she's
that's when,
still in Beverly Hills is speaking about her humble beginnings, which is probably
yes,
why she's still wealthy. I,
yes,
we love Jennifer Tilly on this channel.
we
We
really
just
do.
do. We enjoy her. Olivia and Mitchell are out with the kids that they are watching, the three dads, and Bo, which is the name of the little girl that I do not care for. They are out to eat, and she orders caviar, grilled octopus, and clams. And she ate them like a child, but she looked like she enjoyed them. I wouldn't want my child to eat a raw oyster or clam. It's actually dangerous for their stomach. But
Yes.
if she's eating it now and her stomach's adjusted, let the girl be. I'm not mad. It's some adults that can't eat caviar. Go girl. But Olivia tells the kids while at the table, she talks to the kids like she is one of them. I think it's important to talk to kids like they're a person and not a child because it does help them develop. However, she took it too far, in my opinion. She talks to the little girls and she tells Bo and her brother how she grew up rich just like them as well. And she let them know when her parents divorced, everything ended and was like, I got what she was trying to do, trying to kind of humble them, which I think is important because their dads are obviously not being fathers or parental figures in the right way. And maybe they don't know how. I think this is no shade. I really think this is why it's important to have a mother and a father in the household. Regardless on how anybody feels, don't come for me if you sensitive as fuck about LGBTQ. I don't give a fuck who you sleep with or about your sexuality. This is a fact of the matter with kids. Girls be needing a woman around for certain things. What the fuck is a man going to tell a girl about her period? I had my mother and father in my life. When my period came, he said, go to your mama. And with boys, there's some things that women don't understand because we're not men and they may need that lesson from them. But I'm looking at Olivia, like, while I appreciate what you're trying to do, I don't think it's appropriate to do professionally. You don't want to talk to children about things that they may not know about, like divorce, death, things like that should come from the parent or a therapist or even a teacher, but not the nanny. You want someone who is actually educated and well versed on how you should have that conversation with the child. And a nanny, they're good with kids, but they are not trained on how to have a conversation about their wealth just being lost that other people have and what they don't have with them. Mitchell pulls her aside and it's like, do you really think this is appropriate to say around the kids? And Olivia kind of was like, you're right, you're right, you're right, which I appreciated because I for sure thought she was going to go off on him. But she says that she just wanted to bring them down so that they can understand how fortunate that they are and be more respectful. Here's the thing. She snapped at you, rude on camera, but she was very polite when ordering with the waiter. Like, so
I think she knows sugar from salt. I really
yeah.
don't think yeah, I agree 100% with you because I saw that too. Um, The problem with that little girl, and I agree with you, is that there isn't a mother's touch in the household.
Mhm.
And that's why if I were to have a little girl, I would have a nanny that was a woman that would be able to teach my daughters the things that they need to know, because I cannot do it. And I'm fully aware that I cannot do it. And I just think that the whole father such about the three husbands, whatever you want to call them, I just think that they're out of touch. I think they have kids because they wanted them. And
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with that. But when you want kids, it's one thing, but when you have to raise them, it's another. And I think that they just wanted the kids just
Yeah.
to have them. And because
Because
they
why
had the
doesn't
financial
your son
resources.
know how to tie his shoes
Exactly. The
at
the
that
natural
age?
things that kids should know, these kids do not know. You have
Nobody's
one
so
who's
rich.
overly spoiled, and you have one who was overly oblivious to his life. That
Hmm.
is not the same. Like, to me,
They're ignoring the needs of
they're
the
ignoring
kids
the
because
needs.
the little boy was so happy to learn how to tie his shoe that tells
Right.
me he's probably been asking and they haven't been teaching him. And if Courtney and Kim and Khloe Kardashian can get down on their knees and teach their kids how to tie a shoe, rich as hell in the middle of photo shoots, then they can too. Okay.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Like, spend time with your kids, put the effort. But I do think the little girl needs a woman's touch. I appreciated what Olivia tried to do, but you got to be careful. You on contract. You're not the permanent nanny.
Yes.
So that's all. But we wish them the best. And shout out to Mitchell. He's proven to be more and more responsible with every episode. I just want him to run from his woman. I'll explain later. Um, Back at the house, Olivia is bothered by the information that she has learned about Leah being involved with the father. And she now feels like she's so bothered. She says that she has to vent. So she goes to the messiest person in the house. The person that complains and is the most vocal is often the person that you should know not to tell anything private or that you don't want getting out to. And she goes and she tells this to Hannah. And I'm like, why would she? Why would she
Hence
do
why she got on
this?
my nerves.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hence why she got
hold
on.
it.
It was like, okay, I get it. You need to vent because that's a lot of information. Even for me, it was a lot. But I'm not finna run and go tell the Debbie Downer, the messy one, the one that just waiting for a reason to leave. I'm not finna just tell her this and then make the situation spiral and worse, because there's still a level of decorum and professionalism you need to have in this, regardless of y'all living in the house with each other.
Especially you telling the one person who's still unemployed.
Right.
And so she's going to look at this as like, is this why I'm still unemployed? Am I going to find a
Exactly.
job if this gets out
Exactly.
around the island? Like, you telling the
That was
person
my
who
thought. Exactly.
is in the most need of a job, okay?
Because it's gonna do one of two things. She gonna think she ain't good enough, or she gonna have to sleep with the daddy.
I just was looking like, Olivia, you said you grew up privileged in Connecticut.
It
Maybe
is. It is shows.
it's showing
It's
because your
showing.
discernment, baby, was
No, it's
this is
like,
not the
yeah,
person to tell. The safest person in the house to talk to thus far is Tamaya. I would say Tamaya,
yeah,
and
because she's very neutral. She really
she's
is.
extremely neutral, but she everything someone has said to her that we've seen, she has not repeated.
Yep.
She's a safe person and she's not close with the host. I say Sydney because Sydney does give mature, but Sydney's
I
so
couldn't
close with
trust her.
Leah, I wouldn't
Yeah, I
trust her.
couldn't trust her. No,
Yeah.
if I'm either gonna tell Tamaya, or what was the other guy's name? I keep getting them confused. They
There's
don't look
Mitchell
alike.
and there's
Zach, not
Jack.
Zach. Jack.
Jack.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have either told Jack or I would have told Tamaya.
Yeah. Jack and Tamaya both give
Solidarity in some kind of
well,
form.
they give professionalism.
Yes,
More
and that's
so.
what it is.
I
Yeah.
think they like outside of it, whatever. You can be as messy as you want outside of work, but as it relates to their fields, especially how we like in the later episodes, seeing how Jack has handled some things, I think him and Tamaya are like, if I had to watch this cast and wanted to choose a celebrity nanny based off of who I watched on this show, I would only call back based on these episodes Mitchell, Tamaya, or Jack. And Mitchell's only if I'm desperate because he's connected to a psychopath, in my opinion. Um, that's just my personal opinion, but I'm glad we are on the same page with that because Olivia, that made my teeth itch,
I
y'all. And
was
I
like,
said, girl,
the moment she walked in that room, I said, "Oh no." I said, "Oh, she about to fold."
You could just tell when somebody don't
Yeah,
stick like
she
a
about to
canary.
fold, and I said, "No, that's not what you, girl." But I tell you, I was watching this, literally clenching everything. I'm like, "Oh
And
my
it's also
gosh."
like it's your friend. Like it's your friend. Like Olivia and Sydney are supposed to be the closest to Leah. So don't say nothing. Like if I knew that James was a manny and he fucked a dad or a mom or whoever he decided to fuck, I'm not saying nobody nothing. Look at Sydney. She knows the secret. She ain't even let nobody know that she know that she know. So like,
Because, well, here's the thing: in hindsight, it doesn't impact them. In
mhm.
hindsight, it doesn't, unless he's there, unless he's one of the contacts. It does not impact y'all. Yes, it's unprofessional of her and a little
But
bit
they'll just
grimy
choose to hire y'all over her, if
over her.
anything.
If anything, if they found out about it, like they not finna like,
Best
because
hot mess.
yes,
Hot mess, y'all. Tamaya. Oh, my bad. I'm skipping stuff. Mitchell works out with Olivia. They both enjoy workouts. It looks like he's just trying to bond with her to get to know her more because they have to work together. I have co-nannied with person. The person I co-nannied from was a piece of work. Shout out to Miss Maggie. Uh, could not stand that lady, but we worked it out. We did work it out. It's something that helped work it out. Is when you go and you get to know people outside of it, it does make stuff easier. But he's working out with Olivia, and we learned that Olivia has been on her own for some time. She did grow up privileged. It sounds like she had some privilege after the divorce, but obviously not as much. She says that she is the only one in her family in terms of the kids to move away. When she moved away, she's completely on her own. She pays for her own apartment. She pays for her own things. She has her own apartment in Miami. It is very expensive to have an apartment in Miami. I believe they're like number 5 in most expensive places in this country. So,
yeah.
the fact that she's able to achieve that on her own without spreading it low and dropping it wide is a big deal. So good for her. I also respect people who, regardless of how they grew up, still find a way to have a work ethic. I can't stand a privileged person at all. So I love to see that she has that. But she's working out with Mitchell, and Taylor is in shambles. Taylor is talking to Tamaya, and she explains that she is Mitchell's first girlfriend. Mitchell was a virgin until he got busy with Taylor. Mitchell has never lived with a woman. This is his first everything. They've been together for so long. Now, she talks about being cheated on in the past. And I know a lot of people like to say this because I've been with my husband since 16 and I hear it all the time on the channel, which I kind of laugh at y'all, no shade. Well, you've been with your husband since you were 16, so you don't count. I dated people before him. I
Mm-hmm.
did date people before him. It does count. Don't count people out just because they found happiness and y'all still trying to find it. I'm sorry. Said what I said. Be mad. But obviously, the men she dated before Mitchell, they did something to this woman. She admits to being extremely jealous. She admits to having trust issues. And she admits to pretty much taking her jealousy too far. Now, here's what I do agree on that people say. I've been cheated on too before I got with Mr. Best. And my boyfriend I got cheated on before with him was at 16. I don't care. We was together for like 6 months. Looking back, I'm like, that wasn't nothing. Now Taylor, let it go. Okay.
Please.
You
All but 3 have cheated on me, and that's 3 out of what, 7? So
you
yes,
have
all but 3. It
people
was
get cheated
listen,
on.
listen. Tara, Geo, and my current have never cheated.
Child.
Have never cheated. Everybody else has. So and I laugh at it. I actually found comfort in it because a lot of people think that if someone cheats on you, it's because of you. Like
No,
a
it
lot of
has
people,
nothing to do
yeah,
with
a lot of
you.
people think
Like
that. A lot of people think that, and it's like, no, that has nothing to do with you. It
it
has
doesn't.
actually nothing to do with you. It has everything with them not having self control,
What
and
did
that's
that
fun.
girl say on before the 90 days reunion, Anna,
Hmm.
Jovan's girl? She said to old dude who was cheating, weaken the flesh. That's
Yep,
genuinely what it is to
what
cheat.
it
Like
is,
just
yes,
leave if you don't want somebody. But I think
right.
it's weird to be crying over a nigga that cheated on you when you was like in high school.
In high school, like that
Like
to me
that's
is
even weirder. If you was upset over Geo and your current, if they did, because I don't want to put that on them because they
right.
seem to be nice, but Like, if you was upset, let's say they did cheat on you, I would understand you being upset over that. But Tara, dancing ass Tara, nah. Congratulations to her also, because
Oh yes,
she
yes,
is getting married
getting
this
married. Yes, my ex is
so
getting married.
congratulations to her. I wasn't
I
the closest with her, but
I
I
haven't
knew
talked to her
her.
in years, so I like we haven't talked in maybe a decade.
Oh wow, she has a
Mm,
doctorate in psychology.
I keep up with her, but I just don't talk.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I just
getting my doctorate, or I'm working towards my master's in psychology, but the end goal for me is to get a doctorate in it. And she's been very uplifting of me. So shout out to her. Shout out to the 3% of Black psychologists that are here in the US. You
so
guys
proud of her.
matter.
I knew she was gonna be something.
Oh yeah, she's always been extremely smart. Always been
Yes,
extremely smart. There's like a
yes.
handful of us at Mount Eden that's successful, and the rest of them baby mamas living in Hayward, San Jose, spread out. But some of them got it together. Um, but Tamaya and Taylor's talk was interesting. They do bond over the fact that they both come from single parent households, but you could tell Tamaya's got the attitude of like, listen, it is what it is, and this is common with us.
Yes, I caught that.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I caught
Okay.
that. Yes.
Because it seems like African American people, Black folk, we come from a single parent household. Baby, we make lemonade. I looked at my mama as a single mom, getting a master's degree, working full time at Burger King and doing her clinical hours working in John George. Okay. With 3 kids and 1 on the way. When I tell you I have a crazy work ethic myself, and I think I gained that. James's mom raised him singularly. He's been working since high school. Like, everybody is different. Tamaya said she got a work ethic like no other. We also learned later on in the episode that she wants to open up her own private practice and get a certificate and license to practice audiology, which is extremely difficult to do, which we need more
Yes.
people of. So I respect her greatly. But now we got to get back to Taylor, because she said her mama got a drinking problem and this has impacted her life. Taylor, there's BetterHelp,
Right.
therapy.com. If you are on federal insurance, they do cover talk therapy up to, I believe, 12
There's like,
sessions.
yeah, talk therapy. There is
Like,
there's so many, there's actually a lot that are free. Like they have Sunday specials where you, depending on what state you are, you actually can go for a free counseling session, group therapy session on Sunday. Usually
yeah,
that's
group
not so
therapy
much.
is always free.
Yes.
Unless you have Medi-Cal, I don't want people misinformed with mental health. Unless you have Medi-Cal, it's not going to be free all the time, but there are free therapy groups, and every state has something local that you can find to get help. Go get the help. This show is not the place for you to talk about your mama's drinking.
Yes. And if it helps, your mama's drinking ain't had nothing to do with you. Yeah, everything to do with her. I get a lot of people that have a hard time because they're raised in that. But a lot of my mama's anger had nothing to do with me. Had
Yeah,
nothing
you don't
to
make them
nothing to
angry.
do.
They're
I
just
you
being
don't make
people.
yeah. And so it's not my burden to then carry with her. And I had to learn that being in therapy. That's why I'm able to detach now and
She
do
needs
what I
to
want to
go.
do. You need
That's
to
why
go
she
because you
needs
have
to
to be able
grow.
to detach. And I was about her age when I learned that. So you have to be able to detach yourself and say, you know what? I'm not my mama's issues. I'm not her drinking.
But I don't want to hear about it or talk about it on this live. Taylor, please go and get you some help. Moving forward, Hannah, Leah, Jack, they have a talk. I don't understand why Leah does this to herself. So, on top of sleeping with the dad, she let us know that she took a tour of some homeless man's tent on Skid Row and ended up fucking him. And she decided to leave when he decided to do a hit of heroin. If anybody is struggling or knows someone that is struggling with addiction, let me know. I will happily put you in contact with a resource that is in your local area. I do want to put that out there. Please don't go walking into people's tents. Yeah, the homeless are nice. They are. They're not mean assholes like everyone likes to paint them out to be. They're not all crazy. However, how are you keeping other people's children safe when you don't even have the discernment to know that you shouldn't walk into a homeless man's tent as a woman?
You better say that.
And then what did this homeless man look like that you got so busy that you became moist between the thighs and gave him some?
You better say that.
Did I hear this wrong? This is
No,
why
you
he
didn't. No,
is.
you didn't hear this wrong at all.
I was rewinding it like, because y'all know Mrs. Best. I'm close. I got a close relationship with the devil's lettuce. Okay, so I was like, am I hearing shit? Have I been smoking too much?
No, you were fine. That's exactly what she said, and that's exactly what she did. And listen, I'm not against people, being sex positive, if that's what we want to call
But we
that. But
walking
you
into
got to.
tents.
But we don't need to do the drastic measures of, Sheila and her wig.
That's
Like, like we don't need to do that. And for those of y'all who ain't on my channel, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why you should subscribe to me.
I can't do Sheila's wig plus regular Robin. I see why Kiwan has abandoned the ship. We all abandoned the ship and just go join Watch Your Mouth reviews for the RHOP reviews because I'm gonna go to the bush and weep. I am. I can't. I just thought about that. I'm like, fuck, Robin and Sheila in that wig potentially in one season. What am I gonna do? Whew, what am I gonna do? Let me refill my prescription and hopefully I'll be all right. But yeah, I thought that was odd. And they're kind of looking at her like, because Hannah is aware that she has also slept with the dad. So she's like, now you sleeping with the homeless? So this bitch would just sleep with anything. But a bitch that'll pick up a traffic cone off the ground and put it upon her head as if the filth of cars and feet and God knows whatever else is not there. I'm just gonna move along, y'all. I'm gonna try and be nice to this lady. Taylor calls Leah later on in the episode, and she's calling Leah because she wants to talk about Mitchell. Leah's like, huh? So she wants to talk about Mitchell. She lets Leah know she has concerns about Mitchell and Olivia working together. And she says that she gets super jealous. Why are you telling this to your boss? Your man works in a female dominated field. Okay? You cannot get upset at that. You can't. That would be like if I went into law enforcement and Mr. Best was upset that I had a male partner. Like, if you're in a certain type of dominated field, you have to expect that your partner is going to have to work with people of the opposite sex. That's crazy. That's like, unless someone is doing something inappropriate with their coworkers, like sleeping with their coworkers or like doing something crazy. My husband had a coworker at Tesla that really wanted him and was doing the most to try and get him. Like, unless somebody's doing something like that, you really don't have a reason to be calling their supervisor of all people because you have concerns and are jealous. You have offended yourself, your man, the woman he's working with, the agency. Like, how did you feel about her phone call to Leah?
I felt like that was a dangerous thing to do. Especially because you have no valid reason to suspect anything just because they're working together. Like, you have no valid reason. You have no triumph. And I see why Leah says she didn't want to work with these two to begin with because she
Yeah,
felt like there was trouble. I see now what she's talking about because the problem with Taylor is that she's immature as hell.
preach.
She, realistically is not in tune with her life or her mentals, and she needs to get that under, go. And then she's not professional either.
Worth a damn.
So I don't understand why she's still here. Because to me, if I was Leah, I would give her her walking papers. And Mitchell, you want to go? There's the door. I'm
As
not going to
soon as
sit
she
up.
made that phone call, yeah.
Yes, I would have let her go then because right now you're telling me that you're unpredictable and not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to be looking after children of all things. So
Mm-hmm.
no, you would be gone. I would get rid of you right away.
I agree. I honestly agree. The moment you bring pleasure into business, you can go. I would have told her, you can stay here with us. You don't have to leave the house, but you're not going to get any more contracts after Nicola. Like that, I agree. I'm glad you said that because my God. Leah and Jitney, oh Lord. Leah and Sydney are working for the G's. I'm sick of this family. Everything about them disgusts me. Listen, just because you bitches are insecure, don't go asking and requesting an all-female nanny just to treat her as if she wants to fuck your husband. I think they're doing a little bit much. They make them wear gloves because they both refuse to change their nail polish. Let me tell you something about Miss Full Set every 10 days over here. Okay. I be coming on the internet raggedy, but James will tell y'all, I do not play about my nails. My nails stay done. They will not be long and ratchet. They will be cute, done, and beautiful. Feet too. I don't play. But these people are doing too much just off the simple fact that most women in today's time, unless you a grandma or an auntie or got something wrong with you, we get gel. Okay. Do you know what it takes for my nail lady to get this color off? She got to get the drill and scrape it off. It's not like before where you could take the acetone nail polish remover and just rub the color off. Like you have to do a lot to get it off. People spend a lot of money on their nails. I don't. Shout out to Katrina Nails. I'm only paying about $45 for a fill. Shout out to her, but I'm also a day one customer. But like a lot of people spend a lot of money on their nails and time on their nails. So the fact that these people are expecting them to do all of this in hot ass Ibiza is insane. I want them to quit. That's really all I have to add to that little glove thing. Did you want to add anything to them having to wear gloves before we moved on?
No, we can move on because I,
Okay,
I don't really care about that. That's
they just
stupid.
made my teeth itch. I was like, all this over some red polish. What is the polish gonna woo Mr. G into her bed? Like, it's enough.
Right.
But later on, Mitchell and Jack are out together and they are out in the gay bar with the three dads. There's a reason in corporate America stuff like this would never be okay. Has nothing to do with sexuality. The fact that we have to say that because some people like to attack any type of disagreement people have and blame it on sexuality is crazy. But I don't see why him being at a gay bar, I don't see how that coincides with his care and ability to connect with your kids and keep them safe. It's a little weird, especially when they had Olivia back watching the kids alone. I just found that to be weird. And I didn't understand why Jack was there if Mitchell's the one you wanted to hire.
Right.
So I was a little confused on it, but the dads are messy. So the old husband, the old man, is still wearing his wedding ring. And the dads that look like brothers are actually in a relationship together currently. And one of them was like, I think it's weird that he's still wearing this ring. I think it's rude, which I agree. Why are you still wearing this wedding ring when you're living with us and raising kids with us, but we're not together? I do think they've blurred the lines on their own by all living together because you can co-parent peacefully without all of you living together. But I feel like that old man would have been sad or something. But they wanted to hook Tom, the old dad, up with someone else, and they wanted Mitchell to be his wingman. LGBTQ, can we please be respectful of the heterosexual people? It doesn't mean somebody is against you or hates on you, but like making him be a wingman for that's like this is weird and it doesn't connect to the kids. Of course they're messy. I'm not surprised because exes are living together. So I expect that to be messy in any situation. But I'm just like, why? But how do you feel about them in the club?
I feel like for me, that was definitely something that was not needed. I also feel like it wasn't appropriate, regardless of what country they're in. I don't give a fuck. It was not appropriate. And then also, what does this have to do with him caring for the little boy? It seems like to me, y'all, if I didn't know any better, and I'm saying allegedly because I don't want them to come after me, but I feel like y'all just trying to look for someone y'all want to fuck. Like that's
Yeah.
what that's giving me. That didn't give me care after my child because to me, he didn't show any signs of homophobia. He didn't seem like he was uncomfortable around y'all. So I don't understand what this was supposed to do. Even if he had those traits, he's there to get a paycheck and care
Right.
for your kids. He's not there to entertain y'all. So that was just weird. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was really, I would eat, and I am gay. I would have left.
I think it makes it harder for the gay community when people behave like this because you're just making people look at you like, I get your sexuality is your sexuality, but my God, like my sexuality doesn't come
It's
up
not an
when I'm at
identity.
work
Like I want people to
doing stuff.
understand. It's
Yes.
not an identity. It is not something that is, you worn across your chest that people can see. It is something that you just sexually preference. Not everybody's in the bed with you.
Yeah.
So therefore, you do not have to make it a way of being in life. You could be an individual person, and that's just something you do. I think the world needs to have a clear concept of that. But it doesn't help when gay people make this like a sentiment where everyone has to know.
And I get it. I feel like some people do that just because they have experienced homophobia, and like just in experience when I've talked to clients and stuff that are in that community. Some of them have experienced extreme homophobia that's like not okay. And some of it has borderline into like aggression, hate crimes, things like that. And then some people, their way of handling it is like testing and doing what these dads are doing, or like they make it part of their identity or try to catch stuff before it happens. But I just think they're doing a little much. It was a lot. It should be about the kids, but listen, the dads didn't even care to teach their fucking kids how to tie their shoe. So I am not surprised that they are doing other stuff that doesn't make sense. Um, but later on, Hannah tells Jack of what she learned from Olivia about Leah sleeping with the dad. And she claims that Jack is the only person she's loyal to in the house because that's her best friend in real life. Not surprised. But she's extremely messy. You put your friend in a messy situation by telling him that secret also. She says that she doesn't think that Leah would have gotten the job with the G's if they knew that she had fucked the dad. I agreed with that. Now, I don't like Hannah, but Hannah is calling out and clocking some of the stuff that is not fair. And I do agree that there's no reason that the G's, who are so panicked over makeup and A-cup titties, are going to be okay with having someone watch their kid who has slept with a father. Like, they wouldn't. That lady is so insecure. But I mean, what can you do, Hannah? It is what it is. At the end of the day, you still need her for the connection. So what we doing?
True.
How did you feel about her telling Jack the secret?
Oh, I wasn't surprised. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming because to me, she's so angry about, not having work and so anxious. And it's like, okay, so now that she'd have found a flaw in the system, now she wants to call to everyone's attention and cause a big mess. And once again, I get the concern. I'm not trying to say she's wrong for her feelings, but at the same time, I think we're jumping too far into the deep end with this. We don't have any general details other than her saying, I fucked a daddy. We don't have no information about this. So before we jump off the deep end with it and tell everybody, how about we collect and gather information with the person who did it to see if it would affect us versus immediately jumping there.
Yeah, that's why, James, you are right to be so annoyed by Olivia, because I can't even fault Hannah and her
No.
reaction, or Jack, or the information spreading, because she wouldn't have it if Olivia practiced what Sydney practiced, which was shutting the fuck up.
Right.
You know? But I get where they're coming from, but I don't. But for the sake of the show, I'll let it be. Shout out to anybody who is still watching this far into the video. We are almost finished, but I do appreciate y'all. I want to shout y'all out, say good thug life, send good vibes, all of those things. So Taylor's in the car with Tamaya on the way to work with Nicola. Tamaya's going to be helping to plan the white party, and Taylor is doing the delusional act. Oh, I feel like I'm part of the family, and she's so nice. She's really, really so nice. And I really love her girls. And yeah, she's a great person. Like, she really, really just made me feel totally welcomed. I love her. The girls have done this and that. They're shitting out Skittles and rainbows are all over the house. This is how she is describing this lady. It was given low-key obsession. And Tamaya was right. Tamaya was like, Taylor's a little bit obsessive, and she gonna learn the hard way that this is her boss. You may feel like family, but you are still not family. You are hired to do a job, and that's all they care about. Now, Tamaya is going to be helping, and Taylor was doing extremely well with the kids. She was doing extremely well with the kids. What's her face? Nicola had her to put on, like, she said she was supposed to dress as a Disney princess. It was a costume, but then she put it on. It didn't look like a costume aside from the tiara. So I was like, what Disney princess is she supposed to look like?
Snow White. Snow White.
No. No.
Not Snow White in the castle. I'm talking about Snow White in the, when she got to the Seven Doors house and had to start cleaning.
Okay, Lord. Listen, this is how twisted my mind is. I align more with Maleficent than I do with Snow White, but hey.
I do too, but that's my
Because
thing.
I'm not mad at her. That man had Maleficent twisted. Okay.
Right.
Even in a Disney movie, niggas ain't shit. Okay. That's all. But Taylor's dressed up like a Disney princess and all of these good things. At the house, while everyone's working, Leah, who is supposed to be the supervisor, is complaining about Taylor and Jack. And everybody's looking at her crazy because they know that she slept with someone. But Leah, as a supervisor, you cannot go and complain to your subordinates about your subordinates. That's highly unprofessional. You just do not do that. As the owner, you do not do that. Talk to Sydney, the person who you're actually friends with outside of it. But everybody else should be treated like your employees, and you shouldn't have that conversation. But again, Leah is an interesting character herself in leading. It just shows you can have professionalism as it relates to knowing what to do and how to move around kids, which you don't even have that. Because there was a scene, not in this episode, but in one of the later ones, where her and Leah were with the kids, and Leah ended up cursing using the S-bomb and the F-bomb around the babies. And I'm just like, Leah. And the Kardashians, no shade to them, it tracks that she was their nanny.
Yeah, it
Her
does.
behavior. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, no shade to them. It definitely tracks. It definitely tracks. But Taylor is left with Nicola's kids alone for the first time. They loved her. The little girls were really excited to see her. And we learn she's in the water with the girls doing the flapping. She really did look like a mermaid. And then, you know, Tamaya's making calls. I said, Tamaya, you might want to add like executive assisting to your resume because they pay extremely well. Because the way Tamaya was calling and getting stuff done for that party, not everybody is comfortable on phones like that. Not everybody is good. I always say people be so disrespectful sometimes to call center employees and jobs. Those are some of the people, in my opinion, that can become the most successful in life. It is not easy to talk on the phone, to get people to do stuff, to get them to answer you, pay you, especially if you was in bill collected. Like, I think Tamaya should look into more because she was doing a great job. But she's interrupted because what's his face pulls up, Mitchell and Olivia with their kids. They're taking them to the beach. And most kids will want to go to the beach. We don't want to play in the fucking Nobu pool. Like, most kids will prefer to be on the beach building castles and stuff. But they go to the beach, and she tells the confessional that she invited Mitchell and Olivia so that she can keep an eye on him. As soon as she said that, I said, bitch, you finna get fired. You finna get fired. You about to lose your job. Literally. You're gonna lose your job. Because I'm like, that's the worst thing you can do, is have people you know around them. When I nannied around Oakland, where I am from, and know lots of people when I was younger and very social, I would see people when taking the kids out. We would walk them to Lake Merritt, let them play. I would see my friends and stuff. We give the good old and leave it there. Don't come over here when I'm working. Okay? They parent authorized them to play with these other little kids at this park. They don't need to talk to any adult outside of Amina. Miss Amina, that's all they need. They don't need to talk. But I was also that crazy nanny that was like, don't even fucking look at them. Like, because I do my job, and I would hate to someone else's child to be in a situation because of me wanting to say hi to my homegirl or my man. Like, that's crazy. But Taylor comes out of the pool because she sees. Now, listen, the melanin redacted, as well as the melanated people such as myself, we need to wear sunscreen. It is important for us to wear sunscreen. The sun is hot and strong, okay? And they were putting sunscreen on each other, as they should have. They didn't even do it in a sexual way, or like in a way that looked like there was flirting. Like, she put sunscreen on him the way I would have put sunscreen on James's back if he asked me. She just rubbed it in. And this made Taylor go crazy. You could see an eye twitch. She lost a neuron. And she said to Tamaya, I want you to watch the kids. Mitchell and Olivia are here for a play date. And she asked Tamaya, who is not hired to watch the kids, to watch the kids. Tamaya stopped what she was doing so that she could play with the little girls while Taylor went down to the beach. Taylor goes down to the beach. It's the Hot Mess Express. And she questions Mitchell on what's going on and why he went to the beach instead of to the pool, which to me was like, why are you talking to your man like that? She pretty much said to him, why did you not do as I told you and come to the pool? And why did you go to the beach? That is not how you talk to your partner. That is condescending and passive aggressive. Okay. He is your partner, not your fucking pet. You don't get to tell them what to do, and vice versa. So I don't understand why she did that. And then you ask him this question, but I told you to come to the beach and now you guys are here. You see, these kids are right here playing. Why? Like, you're going to make them uncomfortable because they're like, did we do something wrong by coming to the beach? And Olivia's looking at them like, So while she's trying to question her man for doing nothing wrong, Nicola came back and asked Tamaya, where's Taylor? And sees that Taylor went with her kids. Tamaya did as she was supposed to and said she on the beach. And so Nicola goes down to the beach and she's not dumb. She's like, this must be your boyfriend, Mitchell, and sees him. Ask to pull her aside, which I thought was funny because she didn't even take her that far away. The ocean must have been loud. And that lady got on her ass. She said, you take my kindness for weakness. I asked you to watch my kids, not Tamaya. I trusted you. And this is what you do? She said, that's it. You're done. You're fired. And walked away. Not my husband clapping in the background. Lord. Mr. Best was watching Million Dollar Nannies with me, y'all. He did enjoy it. He was like, this is entertaining. He did enjoy it, and he has been keeping up with me. I also have Mr. Best watching The Polygamist with me. I'm trying to see if he'll join me and Kiwan for a rant at the end of the season.
It's called marriage.
Not as called marriage. Be quiet, Lord. But we was happy that Nicola did that. I think that if you're going to work with children, you have to understand the vulnerability, the preciousness. See, I'm using precious without it being evil, Latoria. And the responsibility to watch a kid. Like, you have to be respectful of the parent and you have to do everything you can to protect the kids. You left the kids with a girl that you just now meeting, who is safe that she's a nanny, but you're just now meeting her. The mother doesn't really know the lady at all. You just left the kids with her. And the woman comes back to see her kids with a random black lady, which I'm sure might have made her like, the fuck? And you're down there talking to your boyfriend. And then after she gets fired, she dropped to her knees as if she was Jesus Christ crucified on the cross. And then fell into tears. And Mitchell abandoned his kids, and Olivia's having to watch them to console Taylor. And that's where the episode ends. Taylor, you deserve what you get. James, please tell me how you felt about it now that it's been explained, because she irked my soul.
I'm gonna say this. When she started crying, I laughed.
We all did.
When she started crying, I laughed because first off, you talk about Mitchell's inexperience. You talk about Mitchell being the person who, didn't have much, life before you and all this. And he's more emotionally mature than you. So you saying that as a dig to him when really you the one that ain't got your mind straight. You the one that ain't got your own life together. You the one that literally left those kids to go confront some man when that shit could have waited until you got home if you really had a problem with it. You are on the clock. So I'm glad that Nicola fired your ass. She should have. And I would have cussed you out too. Because you're not going to leave my babies with somebody I don't know. Like, you're just not about to do that. So, Taylor,
how's she going to know if you're not going to do that? Like, if she says, the girls want ice cream, can you take them somewhere? How's she know if you see Mitchell walking across the street, you ain't go tell the girls, you just sit here, eat your strawberry Neapolitan, and you running across the street, leaving them alone.
Because they could have got kidnapped. They could have been anything. Like, you just
anything
don't
happen.
Anything can happen. They could fall in the pool. They could, like, girl, like, no.
People like Taylor, and y'all gonna call me dramatic, but people like her are why CPS exists.
Yep.
They are, because it's not all for the parents, what people don't understand. I learned that once I got out of school and worked in the field of that, but it's not all about the parents. Like CPS, you could call them about a teacher, you could call them about a babysitter, a nanny.
Yep.
There's a lot that you can do. A lot of nannies get fingerprinted and stuff because if you make a complaint or if a parent makes a complaint against you, the state can hold you liable. Like Taylor, you really just showed a lack of care, a lack of thought, a lack of professionalism. I'm not feeling her. on a show about nannies, argue, get drunk. You could put a cone on your head like Leah, but when it comes to them fucking kids, do your job and do it right.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. But child, maybe I need to go back into nanny and shit. Lord, I couldn't do it. I got tired of dealing with the parents, honestly. Love the kids. The parents were the worst part. But that's really it for this episode, you guys, of Million Dollar Nannies. I appreciate James for being here to cover this with me. I'm going to try to include James on more of the reviews I'm doing in terms of scripted, because he knows it. My channel knows it. I'm over Bravo. I'm over OWN. I'm over the same format. So I'm gonna try and look into some different stuff. I do appreciate you for being here. We will have another Million Dollar Nannies review up on Friday. So be on the lookout for that. Friday, July the 3rd. I am not sure. I'm gonna figure out my schedule for next week because the 4th of July is happening, and I'm not sure if people are doing stuff. I'm more of a Juneteenth girl, but some people acknowledge the 4th, and I want to be respectful of that. We will have a lot of reviews coming out tomorrow. James will be live doing the Housewives of Atlanta. After he does the Housewives of Atlanta, I will be live going over Housewives of Rhode Island and 90 Day Fiance. So tap in. Links are in the description of this video to his channel. We really appreciate those who watch. We are small YouTubers just trying to grow. Also, reminder, since it's a show about Million Dollar Anything, there's a disclaimer in all of my videos. All of our opinions that were issued and talked about on this live were just that. They are our opinions based on what we see on TV, not factual. We do have the right to comment on these opinions as it relates to the Fair Use Act within the copyright. So that's really all. Love and light to everybody. Thank you, James. And I'll see y'all for the next review. Au revoir.